So, is copy editing and proofreading still a viable career in this age of AI? Well, let's find out. So, I am an editor. I've been editing for more than 30 years now, and I also create editing courses on Udemy. So, I'm very interested in this question myself. One is, am I still going to have students on my course? And another one, even perhaps more important, am I still going to have work going forward? So let me try and answer this as best I can. So this video really was prompted by a question from a student on one of my courses. Victoria, thank you for this question. Now her question, which I'll read to you, is really, I've had this question in so many different forms from students. So the question goes, your course is great so far, but I have a question regarding the outlook for work in this profession. With the advancements in the AI, do you think editing and proofreading is still a viable option for a career or side income? So that's a very fair question, and I'll try to answer it. Now, the short answer which I'll give is yes, it is a viable career for both freelance and permanent work. But the editing landscape is changing, as is the landscape for just about every other profession. So AI is coming in with quite a swoop and it's causing disruption. So we've got to look out for what might be falling away and where are the opportunities. Firstly, we've been using tools like Grammarly, which is AI, for a few years now, quite a few years. And I think that it's gone under the radar because it's not generative AI, but it's made my job as an editor easier, but I think it has also taken away some of the lower level work from editors, because now a person who's perhaps written a novel, they just run it through Grammarly and it'll catch most of the errors, but it might also introduce some errors. So they could not afford to have an editor. And so now they've just used AI, but that has been happening for quite a few years. So I think we've seen that level of it. That's already worked its way through the system. The real question is generative AI, like ChatGPT. So the first point to get here is that if you've been using ChatGPT, you'll know that it'll create perfect, beautiful sentences. But sometimes those sentences are not in the tone you want. It'll also make mistakes in interpretation and meaning and context and style. So here's why basic editing still matters. Even if people use ChatGPT, yes, it can create perfect sentences, but are the sentences always appropriate for the work that is being done? For the tone, does it match the tone? Does it introduce errors of its own? Sometimes it has a style that doesn't work. Right now you can tell when something's written by ChatGPT because it has a certain style. It's very hard to get it to shift from that style. So the basic knowledge of grammar, spelling, punctuation still are very important. And editors are the ones who will be called in either to fix AI stuff, or some people just don't know how to use it and won't, or it's too difficult for what they are using it. So they're still going to ask human editors to do that work. So we still need to know those basics. We also need to know when to override the machine. It's fine just getting people to pump out articles with AI, but when you look deeply at those articles, do they have content? Do they have substance? And when you start fiddling with those things, then you can introduce errors, then you need editors for that. So there is still demand, there is still need for editors. I still do a lot of just normal editing for people, but there's a secret to this, which I'll share with you. What we've got to do is we've got to upskill, we've got to up our game to offer higher levels of editing. Now, this is going to be the same for any profession: accounting, coding, graphic design. Because here's the other point. If AI is going to destroy writing and editing jobs, it's also going to take accounting, graphic design, just about every intellectual pursuit. So we'll all be cooked. We're all in the same boat here. That's really the bottom line. We're all in the same boat. So if it destroys our editing and writing jobs completely, everybody's going to have their jobs destroyed, which I don't think is going to happen. It's unlikely. And even now, this is late 2025, there's a bit of a backlash brewing against AI. I don't know if you've noticed. I felt at the beginning of this year, I was in love with AI. I just wanted every tool. I wanted ChatGPT and Perplexity and all of these. I just wanted them all. But then something switched recently as I saw the limitations of this. And I thought, wow, this can really help. But at a certain point, it breaks down. It, for instance, can't write long, complex things without starting to fabricate, draw erroneous conclusions. So there is a sense that there's a limitation. There's talk of an AI bubble. So AI is at limits. Now, aren't we already tired of the AI slop in our social media feeds? I can barely go into my Instagram anymore because of the fake news and slop that I see there. Facebook as well. It's just not worth it. So we're having a little bit of a rebellion here. I think the humans are rebelling. So on this note, let me just outline some ways in which humans are better than AI, or the AI limitation. Firstly, contextual understanding. So AI struggles to grasp subtle nuances, cultural references, and author specific intent. It can miss when a writer is intentionally breaking grammar rules or stylistic effect. Yeah, style. So here's the thing. Editors, stop thinking in terms of just correcting the basics, copy editing mistakes, like spelling, punctuation. That's all still necessary. But what you want to start doing is offering what the AI can't do, and that is style, understanding. Do you understand the text? Has the author understood their text? Do you need to bring in some of your writing skill to rephrase stuff, to make the meaning more clear? See, AI will just gloss over that stuff. Subject matter expertise, that's another point. Yeah, AI will have a broad knowledge and it only knows what's already out there. So if you're trying to write something specific, say like a textbook, and maybe with new knowledge that's been brought up, and the author perhaps is very brainy, but doesn't express very well. So this is new knowledge. AI can't always understand what this author is trying to get at. So this is where you come in. You start to, as you read through, you're checking, does this make sense? Has the author communicated? Then you can use AI then to help you as the editor understand. I've used it a lot like that. This is how I'm using it. So AI is partly is your friend as well. You just bomb a piece of text into AI and say, what the hell is this author going on about here? Can you interpret this? And it usually does a good job. So AI is great in small, I find in small pieces, summarizing, helping you understand something, helping you explain it differently. But you've still got to check that because it might not be right. So here you bring some subject matter knowledge into it. Ethical and critical thinking is another one. AI doesn't always have the ethical and critical thinking that is needed sometimes. For instance, the publisher might say, let's make sure this is aimed at a certain age group, market. Then you will know the ethics around what they can hear at that level. That also goes to the style. Is it the right style? Yeah, establishing voice and consistency, big one. I think I fell out of love with AI because recently I was asked to review a novel writing software, and I'm very into not writing novels. And this thing, man, it can rake up stuff. It is really great. But the style, when I started struggling with the style to get it to write more like my style, or just plain simple English, without overloading it with purple prose and metaphors and every damn thing I can find, I just gave up in disgust at a certain point. And I thought, if this is what people write, this is what can pass for beautiful writing nowadays, I'm done. Really at this moment I'm done with this. So I relegated AI. Okay, just help me with functional stuff here. There are limits. Confidentiality is another one. That's my last on this list. Yeah, sensitive legal medical document. You don't want to upload that stuff. And sometimes people don't want to write that in AI because that could be used for training AI. So sometimes authors will not use it. There's another point, which I've just thought of and remembered, is that many writers do not like using AI, and rightfully. For instance, I recently edited a university textbook on fluid mechanics. Now, I don't know any maths at all. I failed maths in university, first year, but I ended up co-authoring this engineering textbook. How? With the help of my friend ChatGPT, simply to help me interpret what the main author, the maths boffin, was saying. So, because he was handing them to me in chapters, I said to him at one point, hey, you can use ChatGPT to help you explain this. Like, don't struggle with it, I know language is not your thing, maths is your thing, ask AI to explain it. What happens? You've sent it back. He's used AI and it's so obvious. It still doesn't work. It still doesn't fit together. It's not his style. One paragraph doesn't lead to the next. So I ended up doing it myself anyway. The lesson of that is many writers cannot use AI themselves, especially the ones who are not really language orientated. AI can give a gloss of sounding amazing, but underneath, if you start looking, the errors all over the place. It just doesn't hold together. So not all authors are going to be using this or want to. So we must be there to be able to use AI intelligently. So that's the other point. AI needs an intelligent user. For instance, AI can write code, but I don't know anything about code. So am I going to get AI to write code for me? No. The other day I used it to, a simple thing, put a table into my WordPress site, format something as a table in HTML. That's about the limit of what I can handle. AI is not going to make me a coding boffin. It's not going to make me a mathematician. It's not going to make me a designer. Yes, I can make little images now for my website, but that's about the limit. So I think this is generally the level of AI which will take our jobs, as it were. It's the bottom level. Where the real opportunity lies, I've touched on this before, as AI takes over more basic jobs, we've got to go to higher value, more creative aspects. And for this, for editors, that means going to more substantive levels. So that is where you look at content, style, structure. Does the piece hold together? Does it make sense? Is the style correct? Do I need to override bits of it? AI cannot do this very well. So that is where you want to go. So on my courses on Udemy, I've got the basic copy editing course. That'll teach you everything you need to know on the more mechanical level of the error aspects, commas, punctuation, grammar, those type of things, the necessaries. You can go quite far just doing that. But the lower levels of that will be under threat from some AI. So I would say, where possible, if you like that work, upskill yourself to the advanced. I call it the advanced level, but in editing we call it substantive, and this is where we look at the structure and the content. I think for me it's an easier level because it's less about rules. If you're a writer, you can probably already work at this level. So all you do is just upskill, just upgrade yourself so that you're offering more. Now here's some more value you can add. Be more human. In the age of AI, the key is be more human. So what makes you unique? What is your special interest? For instance, maybe you love storytelling or reading novels. So you can then focus on offering insightful feedback to fiction authors on their books. So you're not just editing the text, but you can look at the structure. You can offer them, hey, here it looks a bit boring. Are you sure this is working? That kind of thing. Really, that's an add-on upskill offer that you can provide. If you're great at structure, you can just look at anything, especially non-fiction, fiction as well, company reports, everybody. You'll find most writers have a problem with structuring their text. Especially you think the really clever people are good at no. The academic ones sometimes, or the people who write these complex company reports, information is all over the place. So if you can pull that together, you're providing a fantastic add-on service. What else? Yeah, academic or technical editing. If you have an academic background, students will really value academic support. So you offer that in addition. So you're editing for the grammar and the spelling, but you can then also offer a higher level of, hey, should we look at the structure of this within ethical guidelines of academic editing? So tune into what you love. Tune into what your experience already is, or what you'd love to learn. What do you need to learn? For me, this is the most interesting part. Like, most of my editing now is with sort of larger clients, and I often end up doing so much more than just the copy editing. For instance, recently I did one on biodiversity study. It was a really raw text. So what I do, I went and found images found images, worked on the structure. I also advised the graphic designer who'd be working on it, like what is the style to use, to go and research what that organization is using as their style, look at other documents they've produced. So that becomes really creative. I enjoyed working at that level. And then the client is really, really pleased with the service, and then they hire you again. So look to your interests, look to what you can learn, like document formatting, like learn how to format Word. Many people don't know how to do that. If you want to do reports, find out how to format a report. Okay, these are add-ons that make you indispensable and that make the work more fun. That's the important bit. Okay, and I've got some notes here, how to future-proof your career. Actually, I won't go through all of them because we've done them. Build strong foundations, which is your grammar, spelling, punctuation. You've got to know that. Learn higher-level editing. I've discussed that. Use AI as a tool, not a threat. We also touched on that. Bring it in and use it. So use Grammarly as your proofreader or pro-writing aid or something similar, but then use generative AI when you need help understanding a text or putting it in different words. So we must become AI enhanced and empowered so we can do more. If we lose some clients at a lower level, let us get more at a high level or just be more productive in that way. Which brings me now to the final thoughts. In the end, my friends, I cannot say what will happen to our profession. Whether I will have an editing job going forward, who knows? I'm pretty sure I will, because of these add-on services that we do, and because of the limitations of AI. I think we've got to sit tight through this quite a rough period as things stabilize, and we'll figure out what AI can and cannot do. And there's been so much talks of layoffs, but there's also studies that show that some of these layoffs are just because of the economy, not because of AI. So a lot of the hype is just hype. There will be shakeups, but maybe not as drastically as we all thought. And I'll leave you with this, which is, again, to be more human and follow your heart. If you're good at language, got an eye for detail, you're curious about editing, just take a chance and learn it. If you enjoy it, see, that's excitement, you're meeting excitement from your heart, learn more. See if you can get clients, see where it takes you. Because here's the thing. If you have an open mind and willing to learn, you will evolve with the industry. It will look different in 5 years' time. But because you're in it and you're enjoying it, what you offer and what you know will be different in 5 years' time. Same goes for accounting, graphic design, everything. If you're good at it, try it out. See where it goes. Okay, I'll end it there. If you are interested in learning more, I'm going to put the links to my courses in the space below. And then let me know your opinions here. I mean, maybe we aren't going to lose our jobs. I don't know. Tell me if you've lost your job. Tell me if you've gained a job. What haven't I touched on here? Let's keep this debate going because I want to learn. I need to know. I want to tell my students really what's going on so we can stay ahead of the curve. Let's share the knowledge, guys. Okay, go out there, have fun, embrace the world of AI, and let's see where it takes us.